Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. This is the May new moon, a super moon. There we go. May new moon is May 16th at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Adjust for the time zone that you live in. The moon and the sun, 25 degrees Taurus. So that's the Venus energy. Desires, money, values. I was listening to someone give a little talk on the energetics that steps forward and the connectivity of the group energy, the whole. It's the understanding the ancient teachings. What is in the one is in the whole. What you do to one, you do to another. We are all one, as above, so below, and all that stuff that floats around like a bunch of meaningless words. But the reality is that this timeline that we're in, officially, it's here, folks. We can't ignore it. And values, money, desires, what you crave. That was the word. That was the word this person used. They said, ask yourself, what do I crave? What do I crave? So you could crave a relationship, love, chocolate, music, clothing. You want things to be beautiful. Peace, the earth, right? Food. You just want us all to get along. You want everything to you want to go back to nature. You just want things to be in their simplistic divine order, right? Yeah, that's Venus. All the beautiful stuff that has to do with the planet, with the earth. Venus has a lot to do with the simplistic part of life, even though she can make things a little on the complicated side, because it's the desire nature that we're dealing with. And so Venus has many layers, many tones, many shades, many colors. You know what I like, you're not going to like, right? And I can't control what I like. You can't control who you're attracted or drawn to, or what you find of value. You know, the saying, one man's junk is another man's treasure, right? There's a lot of truth in all of that. So the desire nature is going to be big, because this is what it is, a new moon, a new beginning in Taurus energy. So 25 degrees really is a big focus on myself, my body, my appearance, my actions. Now, this is usually some very strong Martian energy, because it's 25 degrees. And this tells us, well, we're talking about Mars. We're talking about Mars energy. So there's some masculine stuff, even though this is a Taurus new moon, which is Venus, feminine stuff. So this gives this new moon a new beginning that's based on things that we feel give us pleasure, comfort. Think of all the five senses: smells, taste, touch, sight, right? The tactile, the visual. I look at it and I'm like, ooh, I like the way that looks. I taste it and I'm like, oh. I mean, this is all Taurus stuff. But let us not forget, especially now with Uranus and Gemini and Pluto there in the Aquarian energy, things are ramping up. So it's not enough anymore. Like the baby stage is over. The baby stage is over. So when we used to just talk about the five senses with Taurus, there was a time when it was like, oh, smell, taste, touch, what I can hear, what I can see. That's a lot. But Taurus is so much more than that. Because what you sense goes way beyond Goes way beyond those basic things. Your emotional sensitivities, what you sense emotionally, what you sense intuitively, what you sense spiritually, what your soul senses and communicates, and sensing the soul itself. Like there's a whole lot of stuff here. Not to mention the whole energetic body that we don't normally refer to when we think of the five senses. But it's more than that. It's the stuff we can't see. What we can't see, well, what is there? Is there anything there? There? What can't we see? And if we can't see it, is it there? Right? So, yeah, there's a lot there. There's a whole heck of a lot there that we're already tuned into. But now, people may experience flashes, big ahas, big revelations, big, oh my God, wow, really? And then our mind is like, oh, okay. Because it's not enough anymore. The basics and the 101, it's not enough anymore. It doesn't make sense. None of the 101 stuff makes sense in the world that we live in. It's not explaining enough. It doesn't connect the dots. It's like there's pieces missing. That's right. There is the invisible stuff, but yet we know it's there. But we've been talking about it, or I should say, we haven't been talking about it. We've been talking around it or through it, but we don't talk about it. We don't give it the credit, the attention. We don't give it the recognition as if it's a secondary thing. And it's not a secondary thing anymore. That's why everything is insane right now, because we're using tools that no longer work. So, with all this said, we're now reprioritizing our values. We're reprioritizing. Venus is like, okay, so things are changing. Yes, I once valued that. Yes, that was once important to me. And it may still be important to me. But there's some other stuff that's important to me and might actually be more important to me now. And it's okay. It's okay to fluctuate, to change my mind. It doesn't mean I'm walking away necessarily. It means I have additional things, although some folks may walk away. Especially some folks may say, well, this job isn't worth it anymore. And some folks may, unfortunately, there's that whole reality of people having to consider alternative ways of making money, of receiving values, because this is Taurus. Money in the bank, my finances. That's Taurus energy. And so it's a huge focus that's not just about the money, but it's about what I value. Who is valuable in my life? My body, but my individuality, because this is the 25 degrees. My independence, my individuality. Who am I? And what values can I bring to the table? What do I have? What can I do to earn an income? You see Sirius right here? Also at 25. A new moon conjunct food and farming. Food and farming. But how do I nurture myself? We got Algo at 26 degrees, which can make this tricky. Extreme desires, extreme cravings. I hate to use the word cravings, but it's just another, you can crave anything. You can crave power, you could crave money, you could crave chocolate, right? It can be any one of those things. It's basically, I crave love, I crave affection, I want to be touched, I want to touch. It's whatever you crave. Extreme desire, and having a new moon conjunct that makes this really kind of potent. It gives us this extra Venus kick. So I would just spread caution, just a little bit of caution. It's not about being fearful, but it's just about paying attention, because sometimes when we have a strong desire, it can override us and we don't realize it. Somebody has to say, hey, dude, chill, step back, count to 10, relax. Now look where Venus is. There she is. 27, the mind degree, 27 degrees in Gemini. So Venus has a lot of ideas because she's in Gemini. Lots of ideas. She's been learning a lot, and this is the learning degree. This is also the news degree and the social media degree. Yes, Gemini is all of those things. And yes, it's a Gemini degree that Venus is in. So communicating is huge, huge on this day, even the day before, but the day of, the communicating with people we love, people that are important to us. Maybe we're just talking about business and finance. Maybe we're writing, Gemini energy. But sharing information, learning and sharing, curiosity is piqued. A lot of things, self-discovery even, but definitely unconventional stuff, and considering things that your brain was not ready to consider. Our brains are ready to consider these things now. Really quickly, the vertex is in at a Uranian degree, shocks and surprises, sudden, different, unconventional. This is authority figure. It's at both degrees. It's in Virgo and in Pisces. So people who are in charge, institutional energy, government energy, there may be some surprises. It's a damn good possibility. There can be some surprises, but maybe not. Maybe they're not surprises. Maybe these are things that people have desired for a long time. So there's objects on the chart that are still in the technology, shock and surprise, sudden breakthroughs even, maybe shocking communication, shocking news, maybe stuff with siblings, neighbors, coworkers, peers, my local community where I live, the mind and the back and forth, the rapport off the charts. Okay. So we're going to start at 23 degrees of Taurus for your orb. And you can take that all the way to 0 degrees. Man, you could really even take it almost all the way. If you have objects like at 29 in Taurus and 0 in Gemini, you could take it all the way to 1, 2 degrees of Gemini even, because Uranus is sitting there at 1 degrees. So this is quite a big orb that can easily affect the 0 and 1 degrees and 2 degrees of Gemini energy. But this is supposed to be a new beginning that's going to bring stability, that's based on your desires and your values. It's based on freedom. It's based on self and independent energy.